This online learning support is covering Google Meet and includes starting and hosting a Google Meet, the tools for an enhanced experience. Google Meet is a powerful video conferencing tool integrated with Google Classroom. It's designed to support virtual class meetings and discussions. I greet you with a warm handshake as we walk through this online learning support video. In this session, you will learn how to start a Google Meet directly from your Google Classroom, along with the virtual hosting tools available for your use. Let's begin at the Classroom homepage. Once there, open Google Classroom and select the class where you would like to start the Google Meet. At the top of the Classroom stream, you will see a Google Meet link. This link is automatically generated when you create your class, and it's unique to this specific course. You can manage the Meet link in your class settings. As you can see here, my meeting link is not visible to students. When you first start your meeting, that may be the case that you run into, that it's not visible for students. So you want to go back up to the three dots and click and move down to Manage. At Manage, you can make it visible to students by clicking on the little slide there and choose Done. Now back the meeting join, you can see it is visible to students, so students, once they enter their classroom on the far end, they're able to join by clicking on their join link from their stream page at their Google Classroom. To start a meeting, simply click on the Meet link and it will open up a new tab taking you directly to the Google Meet interface. At the meeting interface and before joining the meeting, make sure your camera and microphone settings are configured correctly. Instead of testing the microphone and the speaker, click on the drop-down of the TrueVision. At the drop-down, select Make a Test Recording and click on the Start Test. By doing so, you will gain insight as to whether your camera and audio are working correctly. As you notice, my mic is okay, speaker, camera, and connect. We can now close and go back to the meeting interface. At the meeting interface, you can enter the meeting without your mic on or your camera. I suggest that you leave your camera and your mic on and join the meeting. Once in our meeting, let's start with the basics. If you look at the bottom of your screen, you'll see a black toolbar with several icons. These are the tools you'll be using throughout your meeting. The first icon on the left is the microphone. Right now, mine is unmuted. If I click this icon, I'm now muted, and no one can hear me. You will want to mute yourself when you're not speaking to avoid background noise, especially in the large meetings. To unmute, simply click it again. Next to the microphone is the camera. This controls whether your video is on or off. If I click this, the camera is off. You will notice my video feed disappears. This is helpful if you need to turn off your camera for any reason. Click it again to turn the camera back on. Next is a closed caption. By clicking this, the screen will capture everything that is being said. This is good for those who have hearing problems. By clicking on the closed caption, I can shut it off. Next to the closed captions is the emojis. By clicking on that, you'll get several different types of emojis that you can post out along, and the students can also do that. Go ahead and post them. By clicking that, it will drop back down. Moving to the right, we have the Present Now button. This is a key feature when you want to share your screen. When you click it, Google Meet will give you three options: share your entire screen, a window, or a Chrome tab. Here in my Chrome tab, you can see that I have several tabs open. When I click the window, you can see all of the windows that I have open. Or I can click the entire screen. And I have two options. I only have two screens that are open. To choose one to share, simply click on it and choose Share at the bottom of the screen. We can stop presenting by clicking the upper right corner and click on Stop Presenting. The next tool is to raise your hand. You'll find the Raise to Hand button to the right. If someone wants to ask questions or contribute without interrupting, they can click this to raise a virtual hand. This is particularly useful in a large meeting or classes where you need to maintain order. Now let's talk about ending the call. The red Leave Call button in the center of the toolbar is what you'll click when you're ready to leave the meeting. Once you click this, your connection will end, or end the call for everyone. Let's try this. Just leave the call. You left the meeting, it says you can rejoin. And sometimes we get disconnected, and hopefully this page will come up again for you, so you are able to rejoin. There again, you would join now, and it will take you back into your virtual meeting. Those are the key tools at the bottom of your Google Meeting window. Whether you're managing your microphone, presenting, or checking captions, these buttons make it easy to run an efficient and organized meeting. Let's dive into the additional tools found at the bottom right corner of your Google Meet screen. These features allow you to manage participants, share resources, and control meeting settings. Let's get started. First up, let's talk about the meeting details. You'll find this by clicking the small icon inside a circle, located at the bottom right corner of your screen. This shows you the meeting's link and dial-in information. If you need to resend the link to someone who's having trouble joining, this is the place to go. You can also copy the joining information and paste it in an email and send it out to those who are having problems joining your Google Meet. Next, we have the People's tab. At the People's tab, you can access by clicking the icon that looks like two small figures at the top right of the screen. This tab shows you a list of all participants in the meeting. From here, you can mute participants individually by hovering over their name and clicking the mute icon. You'll also be able to see who has raised their hand or if someone has their camera turned off. If you're the host, you can even remove participants if needed by selecting their name and choosing Remove from the meeting. Now let's explore the chat feature. You can access the chat by clicking the speech bubbles icon at the top right. You can access the chat by clicking the speech bubble icon. This is where everyone can send messages to the group during the meeting. It's a great place to drop quick comments, ask questions, or share links. Speaking of links, let me show you how to add a hyperlink directly into the chat by copying and pasting a link and dropping in your cursor into the chat and doing a Control V and paste it into your meeting and send it out for your participants to link to. Now this could be anything that might include what you're presenting for that day to cover, or a link to your Microsoft Whiteboard for student interaction. We'll go ahead and paste that in, send it out, and let's test it. Now let's move on to the Activities tab. You will notice a small triangle, square, and circle icon towards the bottom right. Clicking this opens up several powerful tools. The first one is Breakout Rooms. You can create small groups within this meeting. This is perfect for dividing your class into discussion groups. Next is a new feature called Live Streaming. This will let people watch without joining your class. Next, let's move down to the polls. This lets you ask questions to your participants and gather real-time feedback. It's a simple way to get quick options or conduct a class vote. Next is the question and answers. Here participants can submit questions without interrupting the flow of the meeting. As the host, you can address questions as they come in or choose to respond later. Let's go down to recording. This features allow you to record the entire session, which is automatically saved in your Google Drive. It is useful for sharing sessions with anyone who couldn't attend live or for students who want to review the material. Next, let's talk about transcripts. Transcripts allow you to capture and store a written record of everything spoken during your meeting. They typically include a timestamp and the name of the speaker, which helps to understand who said what during the meeting. To start a transcript, you just basically want to click on Start Transcript. Once the meeting ends, the transcript can be shared with participants. Lastly, let's cover host controls. At the very far right corner, you want to click on the host controls. Only hosts have access to these controls. So you can see the host management controls here, and you can allow your participants to share their screen, send chat messages, or send reactions. You can also turn off their microphones under the host controls. And that's a full tour of the most important Google tools, from the bottom right icon to the left host controls. This online learning support covers starting and hosting a Google Meet, the tools for an enhanced experience. Included were meeting details, how to manage your participants in the Peoples tab, using the chat to share messages and links, how to take advantage of activities like breakout rooms and polls, and finally the power of host controls. Using these tools will help you run smooth and effective meetings every time. Should you feel you need extra assistance with Google Classroom, submit a help ticket at the SGU website.